Okay, I'd like to welcome you all to Imperial as One Belonging series. And this week, we've got the pleasure of having Sunday Popo Ola with us. Dr. Sunday Popo Ola, I'm going to let him explain what he is at Imperial, but he's been here for a good number of years. And I know that he's got some very, very interesting stories to tell us about his journey at Imperial College, but beyond Imperial College as well. And I know we're going to have a really good discussion today, looking at some of the things which Sunday has done. So I'd like to just welcome you, Sunday. And we'll start off by, if you could just introduce yourself, tell us a bit about the things that you've done, and then we can just have a discussion. And as I've said, for those who are listening in, if you want to put any questions and comments, then please do that in the chat room, and then we'll have an opportunity to ask those questions directly to Sunday towards the end of the discussion. Okay.
Right. Thank you very much, Dwayne. Thank you for inviting me to these amazing series of sense of belongings within Imperial as One. As Wayne said briefly, I joined Imperial College in the early 1990s after graduating from universities and also working for a few years. And the reason why I joined Imperial College then was the company I was working for, the structural engineering company I was working for, we encountered an issue whereby facades, the cladding of a building, the brick wall were falling off from 20 stories, 30 stories for whatever reason. Mm-hmm. And we couldn't find the answer. Mm-hmm. So that's why I came into Imperial College to investigate that problem. I was actually sponsored by a British steel company, they called them at the time, to come and find out why these things happen and what solution we could come up with. And the solution we came up with then was something called recladding or overcladding of building. So building that their facade is giving way, you give them a new coat. Basically buy a new jacket for winter, warmer and tighter and keep you strong. So that's what that research was at the time. Yeah. And since then I've stayed on at Imperial College doing research, doing teaching, and my recent project is the Crossrail project in London. I'm sure you've all aware of the 42 kilometers line of new train, new line under London, parallel to the central line. And I've done a lot of work on that, and I'm still doing work on that. If you think of Jubilee Line extension, whereby you get to the platform, you don't actually see the train when the train arrives until these doors open. Yeah. So what supports that door at the top and within the tunnel, the structure that supports that's me. And also the services that run along the old tunnel, all their services, cables, air conditioning, whatever it is, all they are supported within the tunnel, that's also me. So if any of those falls off, you know where to come.
No, we don't want anything falling off here now, do we, Sunday? Right.
I hope it wouldn't. So that's just to give you a taste of what I do in terms of research. Yeah. And then complement that, that's about 60% of my time doing research. Yeah. 40% of my time is trying to make sure engineering students have a taste of engineering, practical engineering, when they leave Imperial College. Yeah. Because when they leave, they're not going to be worried about all the theories and all the mathematics they've learned. Mm-hmm. It's the application of those things they're going to be worried about or they're going to have to do. So I teach them how to be creative, how to be innovative, and how to work in teams and solve solutions, provide practical solution to design problem. So that's what my other 40% of my time does.
So you combine your structural engineering skills with your teaching skills to give students a real taste of what it is to be an engineer. So
that's right.
Right. So you're actually helping them to develop their sense of belonging as an engineer.
Indeed.
Yeah? That's fantastic. So as the series is entitled about belonging, what is it that's helped you to get your sense of belonging in this engineering field and also in your teaching field? What would you say have been some of the contributing factors that have helped you to get your sense of belonging?
I mean, for me, is I look back to see what I missed out as a student.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
things
Yeah.
that I didn't get to have as a student, and which I knew students would benefit from it so much.
Yeah.
And that's what really drives me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do research and I teach. I will not do research on something that would not be immediately applicable.
Right.
I
Okay.
know Imperial College is a really research-based organization, and look at what we're doing or what the medics are doing in terms of COVID.
Yeah.
They're looking for instant solution, and that's
Yeah.
what I do in my structural engineering research.
Yeah.
If it's not going to be immediate application, I probably will not go into it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what drives me, and that's what I want to pass that information that impact young people to be able to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
To look
Mm-hmm.
around them and solve problem as they go along, and have the ability to solve problem as they go along.
Yeah. So you're a problem solver. You're not one for waiting around.
No. And if it's a problem I can't solve, I will tell you I can't solve it.
Right.
That I'm not the best person to do it. And I will probably nominate or recommend somebody else that can do it. So
Yeah.
I work across the department, across the faculty as well. So there are things that are being brought to me. I know I'm not the right person, and I'll look for the right person within the college to be able to solve that problem.
Right. So it sounds like you work very collegiately, working alongside your colleagues, developing not only the students, but also developing other areas of research and trying to connect people. It sounds like your work.
Yeah, for me, I mean, as they say, if you want to walk fast, you walk alone. But if you want to walk far, you walk together.
Fantastic.
So for me, collaboration is very, very important. To learn to collaborate with people, because you don't expect to know it all. Yeah. And by collaborating with people, you come up with something even much, much important. This is what I said to kids. I say, if you push somebody with your finger, they will feel it. But you try and punch them in a collective of your fingers, they will really, really feel it. And that's what I meant by working together. No, not in a bad way.
No,
in a very positive way.
Yeah.
So it's very important to work with people.
Right. So could you give us an example of a really good project which you've worked on, which you've felt that power of the collective pushing something forward?
Right. I mean, there are various ones. Let me give you the simple ones, whereby working with young people.
Okay.
Yeah? Right. And there's a project we set up many years ago called Creative Futures. This is where we bring young kids, especially of BME background, to Imperial College to have a taste of what Imperial College is all about for a day. So we get a role model to speak to them. We get them to work together in teams, solve problems, and then obviously we'll give them lunch and then take them around the whole of the college department faculty so that they know it's like they can come in. If they get their grades, it's not impossible to come to Imperial College. Because some people are very afraid. Parents are afraid, oh no, you want to achieve that grades. Even the teachers are even afraid to encourage students. So we bring them in for a day. Come on in, come and see what we do. And then we show to people like us to say, yes, listen, if we could get there, you could even get there faster. So just come in, come and see, and then work hard. We'll help you to achieve your grades so that you can come in. And I'm so glad that Imperial College is setting up what we call the Access Program, which is being run by one of my colleagues, Mark Richard, whereby you get opportunity to be able to help BME or underrepresented or disadvantaged students to really build up their expertise to be able to apply, work hard, get their grades, and come to Imperial College.
What other than the fact that, what is another thing which is driving you to be focusing particularly on BME individuals? Is there any other rationale behind that that you've seen here at Imperial and why you're so passionate about encouraging that?
Right. Yes, you're very right. When I first came to Imperial College, I didn't see that many people like me, and I used to say, "What's going on there? Where are my people? Where are my brothers? Where are my sisters?
Mm-hmm.
How come? Am I unique?" And I'm sure I wasn't unique. So
Mm-hmm.
right from start, I wanted to encourage more
Mm-hmm.
people like me to come into Imperial College or to any other organization, institution that is really high
Mm-hmm.
ranking, and they could basically achieve their potential.
Mm-hmm.
Because I believe they're good, they just need a bit of a push. So that's my aim, and that's one of the challenges I had at the beginning. To say, how am I going to solve this problem? How am I going to make sure these kids come in without having to lower their grades,
Yeah.
without having to give them any preferential treatment, whatever? Let them come in on the same scale, and I'm sure when they come in, they will develop, they will achieve, and they will do fantastic.
Right. So you said that that was a challenge that you had at the very start,
Yes.
at finding a way to connect with or to attract. And your idea of the creative futures, which you've explained, was one of the solutions which you came up with, along with the collaborations which you had to put in place.
Mm-hmm.
In setting that up, okay, what would you say was the biggest challenge that you faced? Because you've got the drive, you've got the desire, but you're a man who's an engineer, so you know about the logistics of things. What was the biggest challenge which you had to overcome during that time in setting it up?
Yeah, there wasn't really a challenge as such, because when I joined Imperial College, I was doing that anyway, but I was doing it for public school and private school, places where Imperial College will recruit students, because the headmaster will bring them in for a day. So I was already doing that, and it is in there. So wait a minute, there's not much of people or BME here. What is going on there? And that's why Creative Future was established, to target BME students. Although now it's open to anybody, but at the beginning it was done to target BME students, to try and encourage them to come in. And we also have an organization that was set up about the same time called Imperial as One, which is hosting this event today.
Yeah.
So we used Imperial as One umbrella to actually set up Creative Future. So there's a lot of people there that believe in what we were trying to do. So a lot of support, and we use members to be role models, to come and speak about their work, about the fact that they're at Imperial, what they like about Imperial, why is Imperial a good place to work. So that also encouraged students to say, yes, if these people are talking about this organization so good, I want to be part of it. I want to come in and learn and be able to achieve my potential as well.
Right. So can you just give us, I know a little bit, but for the benefit of those who may be listening on, what was your involvement in Imperial as One, and how did that staff network become such an influential part of your Creative Futures activities as well?
Right. Imperial as One was created by the rector at the time, Sarishu Saik. Again, it's this opportunity to give BME the opportunity to be part of the organization, part of the family, and set them up as an advisory role to advise the college as to what is missing. You know, what do we need to do for BME people? It's in terms of individual development or representation on the committee, you know, all kind of things, celebrating their culture, for example. So the organization was set up for that. And I was one of the leading members of the organization at the time, with many people like Betty, Mark Richards. There's a lady that actually helped us. She works for HR, Christine Yates. She was really helped us to drive. And then Rudy Page, who was an external consultant that was brought in because he's done something very similar across England. And he was brought in to actually help us. Because at the time, if you want to speak to mid-management, even director, you have no clue as to how to go about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So to bring somebody from external, that we could have a meeting where we could voice what we want or how we want it, and then you could then take it to the rector or to the Imperial College management without having any connection with them. And he was able to basically express what we want to do or how we want to do it to them. And the whole thing took off from there. But it was a top-down thing that the rector really imposed that, yes, we have a big organization that is diverse, and we want those people also to be able to have a voice. So Imperial One is set up for us to have a voice.
Okay, so it was about establishing a voice for the BAME community at Imperial. And you said the fact that you had someone like Rudy Page who came in was helped to kind of like a connection barrier to establish a conduit between the upper echelons, the rectors, the presidents, etc., and the people who are the frontline staff, as it were, to have a better communication. So two of the things themes which are coming out from what you're saying to me is about that connection process and being able to have the right connections in place. What would you say have been some of the best connections that you've made in helping you to get to where you are now?
Right. There's quite a few. I mean, take Imperial College, for example. Imperial College is full of wonderful people. And I don't have any problem in gelling with people or, you know, getting people to understand me or to, you know, connect with me. Yeah, but it is very important to widen your network. So I widen my network both professionally and socially and within other organizations as well. Things like the Amos Foundation, Amos Bursary, where they have a lot of black boys that they like to encourage to go into our institution. We bring them into Imperial College every year for 3 days workshop. And that's one of the things that I have to set up as well. That connection with Imperial College and the wider network, because as they say, your network is your net worth. So it's very, very important. But I didn't start those things until a bit late. I didn't have a role model. So this is one thing I will advise young people these days. Start having your role model, somebody that could mentor you, somebody that could shape you and help you to look further, look at the end of where you're going rather than just at the beginning, and how you're going to get there very quickly, very efficiently, very fast.
Yeah, so fantastic. So you said that you didn't have a role model.
Sorry, I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have a mentor.
Mentor. Yeah. You didn't have a mentor because you had role models, but you felt that if you had a mentor, do you think it would have changed where you are now?
Oh yes, definitely, no question about that. Because I know people that started behind me with good mentors, and I know where they are now.
Right.
I'm not jealous of them or anything. I just know that works for them. So if I've had the same thing right at the beginning of my career, then I'm sure you know, I will still be talking to you, but
listen, you're one of my mentors.
And that's why I'm advising young people or people coming into profession. Start and establish a mentor much earlier in the day. And connect with them and follow what they advise you to do.
So could I just elaborate a little bit on that mentoring process? Okay, how did you go about getting your mentor? So how?
Yeah, well, what we did at Imperial, when Imperial One was set up, one of the programs that we initiated then was a mentorship program, whereby we link a BME staff to another BME staff or even non-BME staff that could mentor them, provided they're in the same lines of career. And if we can't find somebody within Imperial, we look outside as well.
Okay.
So we connect people with other people outside that will be able to advise and support them and basically mentor them to develop their career further. For me, I think the few mentors I have in my life is actually people that I'm working with.
Right.
People that I've worked with.
Yeah.
I'm working with them. I still see them as mentors. They don't have to be older than me. Some of them are younger than me. That I've actually taught on as mentors, and I connect with them very nicely, and we connect together. And they obviously use me as mentors to other people as well.
Fantastic. That's brilliant. I like the way that in the discussion, you've been actually providing good tips and examples for other young people, for others coming on to say, well, these are some, excuse me, practical things that you should be trying to establish for yourselves. I just want to delve a little bit deeper in what it is that you how, maybe I shouldn't ask this question, but I will anyhow.
Go on.
How long have you been at Imperial? Because
I've been at Imperial, I started at Imperial early 1990s. So let's work that out. That's about almost 30 years.
Right. Now, the reason why you feel as though because it's about belonging. Nobody stays at a place for that long unless the money is incredibly good or you have a sense of belonging. And I can pretty much say what I think it's likely to be.
Right. No, I'll touch it. For me, it's not about money.
Right.
For me, it's comfort, happiness, to feel good when you wake up in the morning and look for, oh yeah, I'm going to work today, I feel good.
Yeah.
And with the way I acquired, or I felt that when I first joined Imperial College, the first day I joined, I was shown to my office and settled down and all of that. And I said to myself, oh, let me take a walk down the corridor just to see, although I've been before for an interview, so I knew what the building looks like. So let me just take a wider walk and see what I could find along the corridor. And then I came across a lady called Anna Aiko. Yeah, she's one of the administrators at the time. And as I was walking towards her, Anna goes, hello, Sunday, good morning, how are you? This is somebody I've met before. And I thought, oh, what's going on there? It could be my lucky year. And that makes me feel really have that sense of belonging. Yeah. To say somebody I've never met before actually knows my name. Yeah. Knows who I am the first day I step into that organization. And that stayed with me for a long time. Fantastic. Then I didn't realize, obviously, Anna is such a wonderful person, and she makes sure she finds out about people before they turn up. She knows the name of every single student I've passed through Imperial College since she's been working. That's how clever it is. Yeah. So she is something. This is a story I tell people when they come in to say, listen, when I came in, this is what made me to feel comfortable, and that's why I'm still there now. Yeah. Although the research is good, teaching is good, money is good too. I'm not going to complain. Yeah, and it's an organization that gives you the freedom to do a lot of things. Right. You're more or less in charge of your time. Yeah. Provided you do your work. Yeah. You can spend your time anyhow you like. Yeah. Yeah. So I get that freedom. Right. And I'm glad for it. Yeah. So for you, part of that belonging, it was the recognition of who you are. Just that simple thing of the lady, it was Anna, did you say? Anna Aiko, yeah. Anna Aiko. Her actually taking that time to know who you were on your first day, and the way that you've seen her act throughout gives you that sense, they value who I am. Yeah. They value I didn't have
me.
to change myself. I didn't have to change my culture, the way I look. She just take her time to learn about people who are coming in for the first time. And that's something she does very well. And I'm really grateful for it.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. I'm just thinking now, just with regards to any real practical advice, you've given quite a lot, but for someone who's just starting out, okay, what advice would you give them if they wanted to go into academia? So let's say it's one of your Creative Futures students who comes and asks you the question, Sunday, I know I want to go along this line, but I'm not sure how to get there. What would you say to them?
I mean, apart from getting a good mentor to advise you, you also need to be smart about it and set yourself a very smart goals.
Right.
Yeah. Right. So if you don't think your ability is good enough to go into that profession, don't push yourself. Right. Go into something that you feel comfortable. As I've said, I wake up in the morning, I don't feel as if I'm going to work. My work has become like my hobby. Yeah. Yeah. So you have to set yourself a smart goals. And when I say smart, I mean something that has to be very simple, It has to be measurable, achievable, and also very realistic within time. It has to be time bound. Yeah. So if you follow that 5 simple SMART goals, to make sure when you start something, you're 100% devoted to completing that goal, rather than stop or shoving things. And if you do that, you will never progress. So this is something I realized very early in my career, to set myself a very SMART goals. Yes.
So, all right, this is gonna be my final question before I open it up to the rest of the panelists, to the rest of the group, and that would be, so what can we expect from you in the future then, Sunday? Since you've set everybody their SMART goals, right? Sorry, man, right? What else can we expect? Because I know you've done your creative futures in the UK. I know that you've taken that abroad as well, which is fantastic. And I know that you seem to be a man who just can't sit still. You've got to find something to do. So what's next for you, Sunday?
Right, that's a good one. I have a friend called when Mary always asks me every time we meet, where do you see yourself in 5 years? I said, come on, you're not my father. Why are you asking me that question? So fantastic question. Yes, I'm always trying to strive forward. For me, I want to give my time more to people that are less fortunate.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Although my work will give me salary, will look after me, but I want to give my time and whatever I have to other people. I want to basically impact society.
Yeah.
Because when you this is becoming very personal now. When you leave this world, people will not remember you for the car, the luxurious car you have, or the big house, whatever. It's those lives that you impact that will continue to remember you. Just the same way I'm remembering Anna Aiko, although she's still alive, by the way, of the impact she had on me the first day I came into Imperial College. And that's the impact I want to leave on people. Yeah. And that's why I spend people wondering how I get the time to travel to all these places and do all these things. You have to create it. Yeah. You work hard and you create that time so that you make sure. If I go out in the day and I don't impact a life, by the time I come home, I will go out again and try and do something just to make me feel good. Otherwise, I won't sleep that night well. Yeah. To show, oh, what did I do today? What did I do? Okay, yeah, I did that research. I wrote that paper and I spoke. Well, what did I do? If I can't remember something impactful, I will get out again. Yeah. Don't ask me why is that is, but it's just the way I will feel going to bed that day to make sure, yes, I've done something. If it's only just to speak to somebody and give some nice word of encouragement, or buy a soup for a vagrant or something like that, for me, that's what I do to make myself and to impact other life.
Fantastic.
I hope I've answered that question. What's next?
You've told us that your future is
any opportunity that comes along, I would take. The Imperial College want me to become the next president. I would definitely ready to become the next president of Imperial College. Yes.
I like the idea there, Sunday. I do like that idea. All right. I might have to start a campaign, Sunday for president, right?
One other thing I wanted to say in terms of Imperial College, which is where, I love the place so much, and I'm sure majority working there will also like the place. They do recognize you when you do good things. Yeah. I've won quite a lot of awards at Imperial College, Equality and Diversity 2006, award for my teaching excellence 2007, and then goes on to things like society engagement last year or 2 years ago. And you're winning that, and they're looking at you, they're patting you on the back, and then other people also find out about what you're doing all over the world. So I get the king of the village I come from, in Nigeria. I get the king calling me 2 years ago or 3 years ago, Sunday, I'm so pleased for what you are doing, and I'm going to give you a shiftancy.
Fantastic.
A shiftancy there is like what the Queen gives you, LOBE, MBE. I was given a shiftancy that says I'm in charge of the youth and education of the town. Fantastic. And for me, that really, it means something to me. And I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
So if you're doing things thinking nobody's looking, believe me, somebody's always looking. So keep doing good things.
Brilliant. Sunday, that's been fantastic. What I'm gonna do is I'm now gonna open it up. So if people would like to mute themselves or would like to ask any questions, I'm going to give you an opportunity now for the next 10 or so minutes to ask some questions to Sunday, and then he'll give you the responses. So is there anyone who's got a question which they would like to ask Sunday?
Maybe people haven't unmute their mic.
And you'll need to unmute your mics, yeah, please. Right. Okay. Okay. I can't see the name on some. Okay, so I'll kick off with another question then.
Everybody's mic is muted at the moment.
Yeah.
Is this something you've done centrally?
I haven't.
Okay.
Is it Shirley? Shirley, did you want to ask a question?
Our mic is muted. Oops.
Okay. Okay. Okay, I think, just have a look. Right.
Oh, wait, sorry, yeah, I've got a question. But you also, somebody in the chat has put, are you recording questions?
Right, I'm pausing the recording for the questions.
I see, okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, yeah. So,
And then in addition to that, making sure that you've got people around you who can support you and provide you with the guidance which you necessarily need. Yeah. And yeah. I suppose the final point was that point about feeling valued. Okay. The fact that from the very moment that you came into Imperial, in your scenario, you felt valued just by that simple act of somebody knowing your name and being able to talk with you about what you were doing there. And I think that that's a real, very important point when we're looking at our sense of belonging and how we engender the sense of belonging in people, that we have to take time to know who they are, and we have to help to support them in whichever way we can. Yeah. So Sunday, I'm going to just say thank you very much once again. All right. And I'm sure I'm going to have you back on here very soon to have another discussion of another topic. All right.
All right. So, thank you very much, Wayne, and thank you to everybody that turned up to listen to these. Wayne's got my details. I'm sure you could find my details at Imperial, or those people that have logged on from outside the Imperial. Contact me if you want me to do anything, support you, advise you, whatever I do for free of charge, no problem.
Brilliant. Sunday, thank you very much. I just want
Thank you.
Just before people are starting to leave, what I'd just like to do is just show you our talk for next week. So I'm going to just share the video, and next week we will be having Dr. Jason, I think you should be able to see that, Dr. Jason Arde, who's an assistant professor at Durham University in the Department of Sociology. So again, it's going to be at 12:30 till 1:15 next week. So thanks very much everyone for coming, and we'll see you again next week, I hope. Take care.
Thanks. Bye.
Thanks, Sunday. Bye-bye.
Bye.